Today we're going to look at Corbiere, and in particular its lighthouse. Corbiere means a place where crows gather, but since this lighthouse was built, it should perhaps mean a place where sightseers gather. Corbiere Lighthouse is undoubtedly one of the most iconic buildings in the Channel Islands, and its image has been reproduced from the moment of its completion in 1874. It has appeared on postcards, stamps, coins, and more recently as the backdrop to television productions, and there can be few visitors to Jersey who haven't journeyed to the island's southwest peninsula to admire both the lighthouse and the view. The reefs around Jersey's southwest corner have always been shipping hazards. Records show that in 1414 a Spanish ship was wrecked on the rocks, its cargo washing ashore in St. Juan's Bay, and in 1495 a further 5 Spanish ships met the same fate on Corbiere's reefs. In September 1859 the paddle steamer Express was holed as it tried to shave a few minutes of its travelling time by taking a shortcut. Of its 150 passengers, all but 2 were saved, but with Jersey's waters becoming increasingly busy, something needed to be done. In 1865, the masters of ships raised a petition asking that a lighthouse be built on this notorious outcrop, and on the 15th of March 1872, the states agreed to do just that. Members were told that plans had been drawn up and that the project would be complete before winter, which turned out to be a little optimistic, so no change there. However, by February 1873, the survey was complete and work begun, and by November of that year, the tower had been built as well as half the causeway. And on the 24th of April 1874, the light was lit for the very first time. Construction of the lighthouse was a logistical feat and used the most modern materials and techniques available at the time. Most of the materials were shipped from St. Helier by barge, but as there was no safe place to land, everything had to be brought ashore via a suspended pulley system from an anchored barge. Once the rock on which the tower was to be built had been levelled, work could begin. The original plan had been to use pre-made blocks to build the structure, but for logistical reasons this was abandoned, and it was decided to use poured concrete instead, which made this the first lighthouse to be made of concrete in the British Isles. Most of the work was by hand, however a temporary rail line was run and a steam hoist was used to lift the materials. The concrete was poured in 3-foot-high sections, an eighth of the circle at a time, and by the time it was finished it stood 44 feet tall, with walls over 5 feet thick at its base and 2'6" at the top. The glass lantern was 7 feet tall, and the oil paraffin lantern produced a light equivalent to 200 candles and could be seen for over 18 miles. As to the cost of this project, the causeway cost £1,606 to build. The lighthouse tower cost £2,976, and the fitting out, so the lantern, warning bell and all the equipment, cost £2,555, and the lighthouse keeper's house cost £864. So in total the whole project cost £8,001, with estimated running costs, which included the wages of 4 keepers who worked shift, at £170 per annum. Over the years, the lighthouse has been continually modernised and updated. The paraffin lamp was superseded by an electric lamp, and the fog warning bell by an electric horn. In 1974, the building was fully automated, and as recently as 2019, the 1000-watt electric lamp was replaced by a 120-watt LED bulb. The causeway is about 400 metres long and is submerged just before the tide is halfway up. It's a lovely walk on a sunny day, but beware. The warning siren goes off just before the incoming tide covers the causeway, and you must not dally. The tide comes in very quickly and the currents are exceptionally strong. In May 1946, a couple were caught by the tide on the causeway. The husband made his way ashore, but assistant lighthouse keeper Peter Le Balestier attempted to rescue the wife and both were drowned. One might think that with all the modern advances in technology, physical navigation aids are now obsolete. Yet as recently as Easter 1995, the fast ferry St Malo hit rocks off Corbiere as it took a shortcut, almost exactly as the Express had done 136 years earlier. Had it not been daytime and the sea state slight, the loss of life could have been huge. However, of the 300 passengers aboard, 50 were injured, but there were no fatalities. A memorial to this event now stands on the headland. As well as the lighthouse, the old keeper's house, and the St Malo sculpture, visitors to the area can't fail to notice the occupation fortifications that litter the area. Although it would have been an impossible place for a landing, it was the ideal defensive observation location, with views over the whole of the western coastline and with visibility across to the other islands, and also a line of sight along the island's south coast. Several bunkers were built into the rocky outcrop that lead to the causeway, and the whole area is overlooked by an 18-metre tall observation tower that dominates the headland. This is one of what was intended to be 9 such towers, although only 3 were built, whose role was to provide accurate target coordinates for gun batteries. The walls are 2 metres thick, and it was originally painted to resemble one of the many 18th century Martello towers that punctuate Jersey's coastline. In 1976 it was repurposed by Jersey Coast Guard as a lookout station with the addition of a glass observation room, and in 2004 took on a new life as holiday accommodation administered by Jersey's Heritage. For motorists there are several parking areas close by. There is often an ice cream van in the summer months, and public toilets can be found by the main road. Corbiere Fair is a nearby restaurant and bar that offers a range of food all year round, parking, disabled access and spectacular views, especially in the evening as the sun is setting. Le Corbiere has drawn visitors to its rocky shores for centuries. Even on the bleakest winter's day, the power of both wind and ocean is a mesmerizing spectacle, and on a bright summer's day the views are spectacular, with our fellow Channel Islands often visible to the north, and if you look to the west, it's sombering to know there is nothing but the Atlantic Ocean between you and America. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our brief visit to Le Corbiere. I'm Richard, and this is brought to you by Jersey, a Guide.